Hi friends and welcome to another video. Today I'm bringing you another hobby vlog. I put a poll up on my community tab asking what you would like to see, and this won by majority, so here I am. I really enjoy making these vlogs, so it's not like it's a hassle in any sense because I really like taking you along on my day to day. I just don't have the most aesthetically pleasing life, so it is what it is, and I'm glad that you enjoy what I do share. And so I am on the fence about something. So I have been reading, I don't have the dust jacket on. This is the Nectar of the Wicked by Ella Fields, and this is the Romantasy edition from Fairy Loot. I've been reading this and I'm over halfway. I'm like 180 pages in. And I'm just bored. Like, not much is really happening. The main storyline is that you follow Flea, who is a changeling, and she has been in the care of this horrible woman, and when she turns of age, the woman wants to trade her to the Feylands, but that doesn't go through, and Flea is left on her own with her guardians dead. And it takes off from there. She meets a Fey and is still trying to get into the Feylands. My issue is the love interest. I'm not completely sold on. So the love interest is called Florian, and I'm just not sold on him as a character, and the interactions between him and Flea just are too much too quick. It's not like insta lovey, but it's insta lusty, and it's just not really working for me. There's also a trope in here that, if not done well, sucks because it's just so overplayed. And I'm at this point actually wanting them to stop with the smut so I can get some plot. Because, so for me, I was actually thinking about this, and I will potentially be doing a couple of videos about the Fairy Loot Romantasy subscription. But for me, a good romantasy is something that, if you take the romance away, the fantasy plot still stands on its own. If you take the fantasy plot away, the romance plot still stands on its own. And for this, if you take the romance plot out of this, the fantasy plot is like meh. Like, it's basic, it's not going anywhere, it doesn't feel like we're doing anything. The only thing I like about this is the wolf. There is a wolf that she like adopts after finding injured. That's the only thing I really like about this book. The main character's naive and kind of just being led until she's not. The love interest is kind of boring and it feels like forced. You know, in the trope where it's like enemies to lovers, or he's mean but he's soft with her, or he's like a dom but he's like got a nice side. It feels like it's trying to go there, but it just feels so forced that I'm like not buying it. So I am potentially thinking about DNF in this. And what I think I'll do is I will run this video through and then come back with an answer as to whether I'm going to finish this or not. Another book is Watching You by Lisa Jewell. I actually have 2 more Lisa Jewell books ready to be picked up at my local library, so I may do that at some point, because I kind of want to do an author review on Lisa Jewell. I'm interested in her work, but I'm also interested in the fact that I have now read 3 books from this author, and all of them seem to have inappropriate age gap romance, or it has like creepy men. It has creepy men. Like, I don't know what I'm allowed to say on YouTube or not, but like, she writes a lot of things surrounding perverts or potential perverts or people that could be mistaken as perverts because of their pervy actions, right? And I'm now thinking, is this is this like a crusade to be like, okay, there's creepy people around every corner, like, protect your loved ones, or is this a subconscious thing that she just writes and doesn't realize? I don't know, but I'm now intrigued to find out, because if this is a running theme, I don't really know what that means, but it means something, right? Because you keep writing about it book after book. So I'm kind of interested to see. This one is about a woman that comes home from abroad after 4 years. She wants to find a place on her own, but she's crashing in her big brother's spare room. She meets the man next door. He's the head teacher at the local school, and he's twice her age. You find yourself watching him all the time. You never dreamed your innocent crush might become a deadly obsession. And this is what I'm saying, like, a man twice your age, fair enough. She's of legal age, like, she is an adult, but is like there's something here that I can't quite put my finger on. And so I'm kind of reading Lisa Jill's books to see if I can come up with a more succinct theory or hypothesis of what I think is in her writing. So yeah, I think I'm gonna pick this up just because I am like prepping for that video. I will obviously talk about it in this video, but if you are interested in me like deep diving into this author's thriller works, let me know in the comments and I can do that. Another thing I would like to achieve is scrunchies, some kind of crochet, because I am crocheting every one of my family Christmas gifts. Like, women are getting scrunchies and like scarves. I've done a few hats. I need to do more hats. So I bought this yarn. Let's see if I can show you. And I've been making, I'm probably sound really loud because I just stepped next to the microphone. There we go. So I have these, and I've been making these just off and on. And I actually bought this yarn from Temu on a whim, and I really like it. I don't know if I have. Let's see. It was cheap as well. Oh. I could maybe pop a picture of this or something. I don't know. But I bought this on a whim, decided that I wanted to make all the women in my family scrunchies for Christmas. But then I went onto Amazon, and I've been watching a lot of crochet vlogs, and a lot of people use Bernat crushed velvet, and I was wondering what the difference would be. So I ordered a skein of that as well. So I will be potentially trying that out today because I haven't used that yarn yet. But I would like to use the yarn that I have already. And if I have extra scrunchies, that's fine. Um, I don't know. I enjoy making the scrunchies, and I actually use a lot of them myself. So I just thought I could give them as gifts. So if I can get like my scrunchies that I need for Christmas gifts out the way and try the Bernat velvet today, I would be really happy. I think I have 5 more scrunchies to make. No, maybe 4, because I made one the other day. So I think I have 4 more scrunchies to make before all of them are made for Christmas gifts. Okay. Then, lastly, we have cross stitch stuff. I don't know what I want to do because I want to work on my temperature bookshelf because I want to have that complete, like, not completed, but I want to have like the first few bookcases done before I enter into the new year so I can fill up the books as I go. So like that's kind of time sensitive. I would also like to work on Santa's house because I didn't get like the best start on it when I started it, and it deserves more attention. I also have here Mordor, but I think I may leave Mordor for the minute, and I think I may focus on these two. And I think the first one I'm going to focus on is the bookshelf, just because it's something that I really want to keep up with. And if I don't get a good start on it now, I'm going to be spending a lot of time next year trying to get this fixed. So this is where we're starting. And I will come back when I have some updates for you today. I made a scrunchie with the Bernat velvet yarn. I haven't weaved in my ends, but this is how she is looking. And I have, for comparison, the Temu one. Now, I find it interesting because they both feel the same weight when you hold them, but I've been doing 75 single crochets in this one around the bobble for the start, and I only needed 50 for this one, and there is a clear like size difference. I do think the Temu yarn is definitely softer. It's got a softer feeling to it, and the Bernat has like a stiffer feel, but it's hard to tell because ultimately I could add more single crochets around this one. So I think these cost me between 150 and 250 for a skein. And I decided to go smaller because not everyone in my family have like really long thick hair, so I thought smaller would work for everyone. But I do like the bigger one for anyone that has long hair. And overall, if I was to put 75 single crochets into this, it would be the same size as this. And I would still be able to get 4 out of a skein, I think. Maybe 3. But with this, you're definitely getting value for money because you only need 50 in the center circle. So I don't know really how I feel. I think the Bernat works up really pretty, and I think they both have a space. I think this could be like a smaller size if you don't want such a big bobble or if you don't have really long hair. And I think this works for if you want a more statement piece or if you have thicker, longer hair. Sorry, this is just dangling. So yeah, I definitely think I'm going to make myself a few of these ones to keep. And then I will give some as Christmas gifts, which I'm really excited about. But I do love the feeling of the Temu yarn. I think if we're going on feeling, the Temu yarn works better for me. If we're going on value for money, you probably get more scrunchies for your money for the Bernat skein, but overall you could probably make more for the same price because this yarn is so cheap. I'm kind of interested now to see if I done one of the Temu yarns with 75 center single stitches, if it would rival the size of this. Maybe I'll do that. Maybe I'll do that. And then I can just put this with the bigger Temu one as a gift. But yeah, I done that. And then I read 37 pages of Watching You. And so far, we're just at the beginning of the story. I'm barely into it. We follow Joey, who's just came back from abroad. She's living with her brother with her new husband, and she is trying to get a job. But you follow all the people that kind of live close to her brother. So you have the head teacher who lives across the street, and then you have a couple of schoolgirls that the teacher's son has mentioned. Like, we're jumping around POVs. So far we've had Joey's POV and the Fitzwilliam's son POV. Let me see. And Jenna's POV. So we're jumping around on the perspective of the people that we follow. And there's been a murder in the first like chapter, it was like a prologue, was like, oh my god, someone's been murdered, and then we go back to when Joey first shows up on this like strip of houses. Fine so far. I'm so close to the start that I don't really have much thoughts. But I came on to update about the scrunchies and this because I'm off to the library to grab my other two Lisa Jo books I have on hold, and I'm gonna go for a spot lunch as well. So I will not be doing anything for a little while. I'll just be like going having some food, picking up some library holds, and then hopefully when I get back, I can spend some time maybe making the Temu scrunchie to see if I can get them to match in size and how much it would take to get them to match. Like, they don't look hugely different. This just feels more luscious, but this feels so soft. So maybe I could do that, but I would also like to pull out my cross stitch at some point. So I will come back once I have finished up doing everything else that I'm doing, and hopefully I will have some more updates for you. Hi vlog, and I am back. It has been a couple of days because I actually went for lunch and then I got really busy, so I went back to work and all that jazz. So I've been a little busy, so it's been a couple of days, and I just thought I would come in and do a little update. The first thing that I want to update on is my cross stitch, because I managed to get quite a bit done on this. I think it was like 200 stitches. I hope that I'm not hiding this. There we go. So this is what we're looking like now. And this is the first shelf. This has little like ornaments on it, but this is the first shelf that will actually have books on it. So I'm very happy. I obviously need to go back in and fill in the second leg of some stitches, but I'm just happy to have one shelf done so that when January rolls around, I can start filling this in like properly. So that's my cross stitch. And then I did make some scrunchies, and I have all the scrunchies I think I need for my family, but I want to make some scrunchies for either my Secret Santa, or I had this idea. I don't know who I think I am, because I had this idea. I was on YouTube and I seen Christmas decorations, like ornaments, and I thought, oh, how cute would it be if I made like some ornaments, some scrunchies, wrapped them all up with a bit of chocolate, and done like a lucky dip for all of my colleagues, and they just like get what they get. So I made this tree ornament. I will leave the pattern, the video tutorial that I followed, down below. Isn't this just the cutest? And you could do like any color combination you want. I'm so impressed with this. But so I still have my niece, my gran, and my brother's partner, and they all need scarves finishing. And I have my brother's beanie and my sister's partner's beanie. So I have a lot to crochet, and I don't know if I'll have time to do this idea, even though I really want to. But what I was thinking is I can do this in my downtime, and if I don't get it done, I don't get it done. So I'm going to focus on the scarves, but I have two scrunchies and this, and I'm just going to pop them all in a bag. And if I can make about 20 things, just little things, then I can do the idea. But if I can't, then I can maybe just leave it until next year, maybe. So not sure where I land on this, because I do want to make more of these. But I don't know if I'm going to have the time. This weekend, I will be focusing on my youngest niece's scarf, which I am doing in this color. Ooh. And it's just back loop only ribbing, and I work up the length. So I will be working on that this weekend. Then my book. I also have been reading Watching You. I'm pretty close to the end, actually. Like, I'm 336 pages through this, and I definitely think there's a common theme with Leisha Jewell's work surrounding inappropriate relationships and inappropriate behaviour. So in this, you essentially follow Tom Fitzwilliams, and everyone loves him. He's a superhead. He goes to schools and takes troubled schools and turns them into, actual decent schools. And everyone thinks he's amazing, but he's maybe not so amazing. So you follow him and his wife, who seems to be, I don't want to say abused, but very aware of her husband. It's not specifically said, but I do think that it is quite abusive. But I don't know if that's a red herring or if that's just, not been revealed yet. And then you follow his son, who is essentially a stalker. Like, he is a voyeurist. Voyeurist? I think that's a word. He snoops on everyone, and it's really uncomfortable because he snoops on, obviously, girls his age, which means you're getting very weird descriptions of teenage girls. And then you have Jenna, who is seeing Tom, the head teacher, is a creep. And you can't quite tell if he's a creep or if all this is just adding up to make him look like one. And then it's going to do like a plot twist. I still don't know who the dead person is. That's my dog. Stop. Rubbing herself on my crochet bag. So you don't know who the dead person is, but I am putting my bets on that it's the wife or Tom. It's either him or his wife, right? If it's him, there's so many people that could be suspects. But if it's her, I'm not sure who the suspects would be. But I feel like we're being made to believe that he's not all he's made out to be, and someone might want it out for him. But is that a plot twist? But another thing that made me side eye was his wife. He used to teach at a school his wife went to, which means his wife is significantly younger than him, which adults being with adults I don't have an issue with, but it's skeevy, if you're in your 30s and you're going after an 18-year-old that used to go to a school you taught in, it's skeevy. It's not no, right? Two adults, completely fine, but this is not that. And this is the third book I've read from this author, again with the weird descriptions of teenage girls, teenagers in general, again with the inappropriate age range relationships, and it's just I don't know. It's I want to know what happens. I want to know who's dead. I want to know the big reveal twist. It's probably sitting at about 3 stars. Still very uncomfortable, but I feel like because this sorry, my dog she's just had food, so she's all hyped up. Yes, ain't you, pups? So in this, it's a hard one because it's uncomfortable in Freddie, which is Tom's son's perspective, because he's so voyeuristic and he's looking at girls his age, so you kind of feel like a creep reading his perspective. But it's not as bad as reading that same thing from an adult's perspective, which in the girls it was kind of the same thing but from an adult's perspective, and that really freaked me out. So I don't know, I want to know what happens, and now I'm super intrigued because none of this is true. The girls, Invisible Girls or something. Was it? I read another one. They all have creepy men, inappropriate relationships, creepy descriptions about teenagers, and I just, is this a common theme? And if it is, what are you trying to do? Like, why? I don't know. I don't know the answer to any of this. I'm airing my thoughts. So I will probably finish this weekend. So it is Friday. It's my last day at work this week. So I'm hoping that I can finish this weekend. I'm hoping to stitch on Santa's house, swap from bookshelf temperature chart to Santa's house. And I'm hoping to get some progress on my youngest niece's scarf. So I will come back once I have more updates, and hopefully I will have finished the book, got good progress, and we can just have another little chat. So I need to go get ready for work. Hi vlog, and welcome back. I am doing this last portion as a voiceover because my skin has broken out and I didn't really feel like putting myself on camera today, but I did want to come in and chat and just wrap everything up. So I did finish Watching You by Lisa Jules, and I gave this a 2.5 star. This was not as heavy on the inappropriate relationships or the creepy men as the previous books that I've read from this author. But one thing that really, really bugged me about this book was Freddie. Now, Freddie as a character, it seems very voyeuristic and essentially creepy. And I feel like he was made to be this character so that you kind of second guess his motives and how involved he is in the plot of the story. But then it is later revealed that he is on the spectrum. And instead of this being a reason as to why his actions may seem different, it made it seem like it was an excuse for his actions. And I just didn't like that. It made being on the spectrum like an excuse to be a certain way instead of being a reason as to why you are a certain way. And I just didn't like that. It just rubbed me the wrong way. And I think the book could have been like 100 pages shorter. I feel like we got a lot of shit that didn't really make sense in the grand scheme. We spent pages and pages and pages being told that this headmaster, this superhead, the guy that everyone looks up to, may not be everything he is made out to be. And then when we get the reveal, none of that even mattered. And it could have been shortened so much. I also think there was a POV missing from this book. There was one POV that we should have been hearing from, and it still wouldn't have gave the plot away. It just would have, introduced another part of the story that made you really see how everything was intertwined and woven. So overall, I gave this a 2.5 star. I think it was fine. I would not recommend this. It didn't creep me out as much as her other books have, specifically The Girls, and I think it was Invisible Girl, and The Girls, or The Girls in the Garden. Both of them had really, really awkward and creepy scenes in them, whereas this one kind of didn't have that as bad as those two. So overall, I read this, I finished this. I am now writing notes for my Lisa Jewell thriller video that will be coming out sometime next year at this point. So yeah, I finished it, and that's all. The next thing I want to talk about is Nectar of the Wicked. I read 2 chapters of this. I'm DNFing it. I'm really sad because it's fairy loot, but you know what? It's just boring. I'm bored. I'm not invested in any of the characters or the romance. And I feel like if I keep forcing myself to read this, it may put me in a slump. So unfortunately, I will be DNFing this and clearing it from my shelves. The next thing is cross stitch. I did cross stitch on Santa's house. Not as much as I would have liked to, but because it's a paper pattern, I really need to be in the zone because it's not as convenient or easy as using Pattern Keeper, but I am loving the way that this is turning out, and I can't wait to see more progress on this. And it turned out to be the perfect time to stitch on this because it started snowing up here in Scotland, and I like the snow when I get to stay in my house, but when I have to go outside, I hate it because ice freaks me out. I made some Christmas decorations, some scrunchies, and I started crocheting on this scarf you're seeing in this frame here. This is for my youngest niece. I am about a third of the way through this scarf. My dog is so cute. And yeah, I'm just going to continue stitching on this until I get the right length that I want. And then I will be one more scarf closer to everyone having scarves in my family. I also finished a cat ear beanie. I made this cat ear beanie a couple of months ago, and I wanted to add the faux fur yarn to the edging, and I'd done that yesterday before I left for work so that I could wear it in the snow, and it's so cute, and it is really warm, and I'm glad that it turned out the way that it did. I've also made 3 of these for Christmas gifts, and once I had finished everyone else's, I knew I needed to make one for myself. So that is it. That's all I have for this vlog. I read a book, I got some cross stitch done, I made quite a lot of crochet things, and I do apologise that my last clip is me voiceovering, but you know, sometimes you're just not ready to be on camera, and that was how I felt today. So I hope you enjoyed this. Let me know in the comments if you enjoy these kind of videos. I obviously done this because this won in the poll, so people do want to see this, and let me know if you want to see more of this in the future. And yeah, I hope you have a great day, a great week, a great weekend, whenever the hell you're watching this. Remember to stay safe, happy and healthy, and I will see you next time. Bye.
Pick it up from the top, hit restart. So far it's been